Greetings, badasses. I am Patrick Smith. Welcome back to Disenthrall. Today we have with us Dale Brown of the Detroit Threat Management Center. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
So, what do you do in Detroit that makes you so damn special and that caused so many people to want to hear what you had to say at this event?
So what we do specifically is create nonviolent outcomes. We teach people how to defend themselves, their families, their communities, their corporations, how to do that themselves. And we also provide bodyguards for corporations and communities so that we can show people that you can actually manage threats and use nonviolence through psychology, law, and skill by understanding these things and create a nonviolent outcome through non-adversarial interactions.
But we have police for that. Where's your niche in that market?
Well, specifically, police are law enforcement, and we are not law enforcement. We're protectors. Police will protect if they feel the need or conditions arise and they happen to be there and they feel they can do so safely, then their police officer will protect. But their primary purpose is to maintain law and order through the enforcement of laws which have already been broken, which is not related to anything that we do. Specifically, what we do is not let laws get broken. What we specifically do is not let things happen to people. We specifically focus on one thing, and that is violence towards people. So we don't get involved in things that are non-violent. To us, you can communicate and negotiate and solve issues, and you don't need any type of enforcement in the first place, which needs inspiration. So we don't enforce anyone to do anything. We don't privately police people. We simply protect them, and we protect them from violence. We believe that violence is the actual enemy of humanity, not breaking of rules.
So how does that function in practice? You give your phone number to everybody in the neighborhood and they call you when they need you? And then what do you do? How does that function in practice?
Okay, so we work for corporations and communities, homeowners associations, contract with us. Companies hire our team members to ride on their trucks so they can make deliveries in high-risk areas. Primarily cigarettes were being hijacked. Starting in 1998, we started stopping the hijackings. There's not been a single hijacking since 1998, and we're riding the trucks today in Detroit.
So is that different? Is what you do different from a normal security company?
What we do is not security. Specifically, what we do is manage threats. So security is observing and reporting. Police are enforcing laws. And what threat management is literally managing threats. So we create the outcome that you're looking for as a homeowner, as a business owner. We find a way to create the best possible outcome in each situation so that we can avoid violence and avoid criminal and civil negative outcomes.
So I can understand how you could revenue that with corporate work, things like that. Is there any revenue from the general public?
The general public can hire us for their home or their business. It's $10 a month, $10 per call, and $1 a minute for every minute on site after the first initial response.
That is so cool. That is really, really cool.
So if you only need us for 5 minutes, it's already covered in the first $10, and that's all you're charged, and we just leave. So you have a $10 a month membership, and if you never call us, you never pay another dollar. If you call us, you need us there for an hour, it's $60 for the hour. If you need us for to check on your family, we do everything from check on families to have house parties stopped, to have people calm down to Airbnbs. People that own Airbnbs use us to manage their properties because they don't want people arrested. They just want them to calm down. If they want them evicted, they don't want people getting arrested. They want them to leave without incident.
Sorry. Exactly. So all of my friends kind of talk to each other, and we sometimes joke, and it's probably not a joke, that if something's weird or you're worried about me, please don't call the cops. I don't want to get shot just because you want to check up on me. There is no solution like this where we live. That's really cool.
Well, that's our objective, to bring the solution there. It's an imperative to understand that we as people in the United States are required to call police to prove that we actually had a problem that we required assistance with. And that's for self-defense. So in other words, if you say, I'm going to go help my friend Chuck with a situation, but you didn't call 911, then what you're doing is called vigilante justice, or it's also usurping authority in a situation of attempting to manage a conflict condition, right? And what you don't want is that to happen. So what you do is you call anyway, and then get there and solve the issue.
How did you start this business? What gave you the idea, and how did it get started?
Well, I didn't start a business. First, I started a school. I was teaching families how to defend themselves in Detroit, teaching people that were at risk for not being protected, is what it turns out to be. people that say there's at-risk neighborhoods. What those neighborhoods are at risk for is a lack of protection. In every city, in every state, in every country, the only thing an at-risk neighborhood is at risk of is not being protected. So we can actually change that paradigm shift by educating the people to protect themselves and providing them with trained people that will come there with the idea that they are worth protecting. They're worthy of protection. They're not worthy of prosecution. That is not the objective. The objective is to make sure that they live there safely, that their businesses thrive, and that their employees survive. And the way we do that is by focusing on not using force and violence, but instead using inspiration and understanding human psychology and biomechanics to create non-adversarial interactions and nonviolent outcomes.
So this is a hard question to formulate, but basically what I'd like to get at is how dangerous is this job?
Well, it's extremely dangerous because anytime you're coming into conflict with the Earth's apex predator and any type of conflict condition, verbal or otherwise, you are in a condition where death is on the table. In our case, we have managed it for 25 years without dying. 6 of us have been shot, 1 female, 5 men. We stabilized our wounded and transported to level 1 trauma hospitals. As a result of our training, which is constant, we're able to manage those issues and not be killed in those conditions. But more importantly than us not getting killed is the fact that we never let anyone else get killed. Nobody's ever come to us for assistance for them and their family has ever been killed after contacting us.
So why? Why this? Like, certainly there's plenty of other ways to make money in the world.
Absolutely safely.
Yeah.
Much more safely. And that's why I tell people, protection, if it's actual protection, is inherently unsafe. You're literally protecting a prey person from a predator person. And that's dangerous if it was a bear, a tiger, a lion. But humans are so much more dangerous. They hunt lions, tigers, and bears for fun. And you're going to come between them and their prey. That in and of itself is extremely dangerous. So for that, you have to have a lot of training. That's why we train constantly. So we train people to protect themselves so they don't have to outsource their own protection. You're not dependent on anyone else, a guard. You're not dependent on the state. You're not dependent on the feds, the soldiers. You are your own bodyguard through this training system. You maintain your safety. You maintain your freedom for you, your family, your community, your corporation. And the police can be there. They can help enforce laws if necessary. But most importantly, you are responsible. We are responsible for our own safety and for the safety of our family. And that's what this training does. The training gives you that ability to maintain your own safety.
Yeah, so I'm just curious, like, out of all the other options to, go into business, to make a living, whatever, why did you feel drawn to this?
Well, that's a good question. The reason I got drawn into this is because I really wanted to help people. So I thought by training them, they could become their own bodyguards. What I didn't realize is that they need more than just training. They need protection. So I thought the police were the protection, and I thought the people were just in need of protection of themselves until police arrived. The police may not arrive. And if the police arrive there, the police are not really able to distinguish who the actual threat was until some other time. So that may not help you. In fact, that might work against you. The police might think that you're the threat when they get there. So what I decided to do was create an organization that would protect people because there was no other choice. People needed assistance and I had the training. So I trained volunteers. I got a deal with the building owners to provide a free apartment for each person in exchange for protection. So there was an in-kind service. They'll protect their building. They get a free apartment. I got an exchange of service for an office space, which I made into my training center, my first training center in 1995. And as a result, I was able to train more people. And then as we were able to get rid of the rapes, the robberies, the home invasions, and murders, we were able to create a condition of financial success for the building owners. The building owners went from 30% occupancy to 90% occupancy. As a result of our actions, crime went down 99%. So you had almost no crime taking place at all, no violent crime, no theft, nothing that made your life hard. What we do is focus on quality of life of people. So this shows this direct correlation that if we protect something, naturally it is a prosperous outcome. So protecting people, protecting communities, protecting corporations, if you do it properly, you will have nothing but a prosperous outcome naturally.
So I'm hearing that you just really felt drawn to this, like you said it was something you had to do.
Yes.
When you created this business and you got to the point where it was functioning, it was working, and then one of your people got shot for the first time, did that how if I created a venture and somebody got injured as part of my venture, I would probably question the entire thing. And like, what was that like? How did you process that?
That's a very good point, and that's exactly right. So if you're doing something for money, like protecting someone, it's not going to work. You have to protect someone because you love humanity. You love people. You might be able to just protect your family. Some people can only do that. Other people can protect people that are their neighbors. But a genuine protector is someone who loves life in general, loves human beings enough to put themselves at risk, which means that money doesn't matter. The moment you think money matters, you can't protect. Protection is it removes all value, financial value. So anyone that tells you I'll protect you for money, they're lying, because the reality is if it's for money, you can't spend the money when you're dead. That does not occur to you until you're about to die. That's when the running starts. So if you hired a mercenary and the mercenary's like, yeah, you pay me $1,000 an hour and I'll protect you. You're like, yes. All right. So then they're in the situation. Now you're a disgruntled employee. Now your ex comes to kill you. Now your enemy comes to kill you. The mercenary realizes, hey, I can't spend this money if I'm dead. So I will now run, because they have to go to where they can spend this money. You can't tell them because you're going to be dead. So they already worked that plan out too. So mercenaries aren't going to tell you, my plan is to leave you in your time of need, but they are there for the money. They did say that. So what I specifically have to find are people that really care about people. We protect people for free that have no money. Domestic violence victims, stalking victims, murder witnesses. There is no protection in our system right now for them. Literally none. If you watch someone get shot while you're just walking down the street, there's no one that protects you. Yet you're required to go to court. You're required to testify. So you can't say, oh, I didn't see that. That's a felony. That's obstruction of justice. You have to tell what you saw. And there's no one that's provided you with protection for you or your family before, during, or after you tell. So that means while you're going to court and the person you're going to testify against, you don't even know, you just saw him do it. That person has access to your address, phone number, to your family's name, everything. By law, you have the right to know your accuser. That means your address. That means if you get firebombed to kill before you go to court, the person who did that horrible thing is now free. So I created an organization that makes so that doesn't happen. So you can get protection. If someone's going to kill you, we actually do an assessment. And if they don't have any money, they're just regular people, because we're very expensive. We protect them for free. We're not going to take milk money from somebody's children to keep them alive.
And so I guess to close, tell me about how you're trying to spread this around the country or world even.
So what we're doing is we are spreading right now. We have people that are going to be opening franchises in other countries, other cities, other states. And that's why we're here in Anarchapulco today, is to help find more people that want to open up more facilities in their area. We'll be branching out officially 2021. This year is the actual franchise model is being used to as a rollout for 2021. We'll be ready in 2021 to actually open threat management training centers in any and every state and every city in the world. That's our objective, to make sure people there are protected, and we form groups there that can actually protect the community as well.
All right, sir. Thanks for spending time with me today.
Thank you.
Thanks for putting me on the ground multiple times in that class.
It was fun.
We'll have to put some clips of that in this as we go through. It was really, I hope to stay in touch.
Definitely. And if you get a chance, we'd like to invite you out to Detroit to train with us.
Oh, I remember the question. What about a group for volunteers or anarchists brought you here? And what do you identify as?
I identify as the example of what an anarchist would do if they were running an organization. Because that's what I had to do. I had to ignore anything that would stop me from protecting and focus on one thing, and that is the mission. And the mission is protecting the people. The byproduct is the money. The money was a byproduct of helping people, but at no time was there any consideration as to the structure by which I would function. We make it happen under all conditions, which would be a form of anarchy in its actual highest form. My personal view is that until we have a higher level of consciousness of people, we will have to have some degree of governance over them. But if you have a group of people that you know are conscious, they could actually live in a collective that is collectively conscious, and they would not need, in my opinion, governance. They could work together communally and discuss issues and solve it without violence naturally, because they're the same kinds of people. The only time you'd have a problem is when you have the other violence-prone people that are outside that thought process of higher consciousness, that you would have to have some kind of governance to manage that issue.
Well, we may have to make a trip out to Detroit soon and
Definitely.
take the training. That might be cool. What do you think, Kason? Thumbs up. All right. Thank you again, sir.
Excellent. Thank you.
Appreciate it.